City series cigars and Citrus 7s, black cement 3s, 4s, the hairs and bread 11s. No doubt that I'll be wearing some fire at any sighting. With these Doran Becker 5s, you can see me in any lighting. It's exciting, I'll be flexing to the coldest degree. What's up, everybody? Sneakerhead M Checks. I got the 2025 Bugs Bunny 8s releasing Saturday, December 20th. So as usual, we're going to take a close detailed look at the shoe from all angles. I'm going to put these on and step around them so y'all can see they look on feet. I also have the last Bugs Bunny retro from 2013. So I'll be comparing the two throughout the video, and then I'm going to go over all the differences. After that, I'm going to share my opinion on these, and then I'm going to talk about best time to buy and best time to sell predictions and all that stuff. So let's get right to it.
Leather on these feels really nice. Good shade of gray here. 23 on the straps as usual. And up here on the tongue, this Jumpman is like really blue, like a royal blue. On all the other retros, it was more like, I don't know if I'd consider this navy, but it definitely wasn't as light or as vibrant as it is on these. This is the way it was on the OGs, actually. It's like that. More royal blue. This gray part here on the midsole has a little glitter in it like we've seen on the Aqua 8s. I know some people don't like that, but the good thing is it's not too heavy and the slick finish that these have covers it well. The gray here on the upper is a little lighter and not as beige as it was on the 2013 pair. And that goes, you know, all along here over to the part on the toe we just looked at. Leave me a comment and let me know how you feel about the glitter on these. I don't feel like many people necessarily like it, but I know that some can definitely tolerate it more than others, so let me know where you are on that. Now, I've grown to like these with the beigeish, discolored panels like you see on this 2013 pair. And I'm usually not that kind of person that likes discolored shit. Y'all know that. But on these 8s, for this part right here, I don't think it looks bad, as long as they don't get too yellow. But I just feel like looking at these, I forgot how much better they look with the intended white right here. And I couldn't help but notice that this red part at the end of the straps here is a little bit more vibrant than usual. And the plastic isn't shiny like it's been on other releases. These are definitely cut a little higher right here, giving these a different overall shape. Here's the back. I notice this material here isn't as thick or like fuzzy as it is on the 2013 release, if you can see what I'm saying. Really not much else to say back here. There's not too much going on the back. Inside's all black, tags here on the side, and they finally gave us the original insoles for these. Every other retro just had black insoles. The outsoles are as usual with the nice slick topping here on this design. I like when they do that on 8s. Here's the box they come in. It's the modern version of the box that the original Bugs Bunnies came in. Black plastic on the inside. And here's the box label. Air Jordan 8 Retro in white, black, and true red. Here's a quick all-around view of the shoe. Alright, now let's see they look on feet.
If I fucked your bitch, I probably got head too. No disrespect towards you, but that bitch don't love you. If I fucked your bitch, it's because she let me. Don't be trying to press me, cause shit could get messy. If I fucked your bitch, we keeping it real low. You might not ever know, I'm fucking her better though. If I fucked your bitch. So in comparison to the previous Bugs Bunny 8 Retro from 2013, the 2025 pair has much better leather. A higher cut right here, giving these a slightly different overall shape. A glittery midsole with a shiny finish as opposed to it being like this. A less beige looking lighter shade of gray here, a more vibrant shade of blue here on the tongue like the OGs have, dull plastic here but a brighter shade of red as opposed to the darker shade of red with the shinier plastic, the original insoles as opposed to just the black with the red Jumpman, and a slick finish is design here in the middle on the outsole. Overall, not too much different, but I don't know why I like these a lot more. It's definitely partially because these are worn and discolored and these are brand new and extra fresh looking, but I think even besides that, there's something about these that I like better. A few things actually. As soon as I touched this 2025 pair, I was completely sold on just the leather alone. Like, I don't want to gas it, but it feels so nice. I'm just hoping it doesn't crease too easily. I don't think it should, but you know, sometimes you get that really like soft, nice leather and it's nice, it feels good, but it just creases too much. This doesn't have that like extra soft feeling, so I think we should be fine, but I really like the leather on these. I definitely like the shape a lot better on them too. I was never crazy about the more like banana cut that they put on the 2013 pair. I mean, at the same time, it really didn't bother me, but given the choice, I'd much rather have this shape. I actually even like the midsole better. I'm not a fan of the glitter itself necessarily, but the outcome of combining it with the shiny slick finish, and I guess the perfect amount of gray really makes it look nice, in my opinion. Because at first when I got these and I looked at them close, I'm like, oh, they put glitter on them, but I'm like, hold on, these look kinda, and I think that's exactly what it is. It's like the perfect amount of shine on it, perfect amount of gray, not too much glitter, like they nailed it. The more vibrant blue on the tongue looks better to me also. So no doubt I'll be keeping this new pair and I'm gonna sell my 2013 pair. Leave me a comment and let me know which release you like better. The original 1993, 2003, 2008, 2013, or 2025. For me, a deadass might be these, but that very well could be recency bias just because like I got them
in hand. They look so nice. You know, the new refresh look looks better than these. I don't know. They look good though. But the 2003 pair is nostalgic to me. Back in middle school, this little joint I was talking to had them. And before she moved, I don't remember why she gave them to me, but she did. At the time, I thought she was doing it on some shit, like, so she'd have a reason to come back and see me. Like, you know how girls be doing that. They like leave shit at your crib just so they can hit you later. Like, oh, I left my whatever there. I gotta come back and get it. Like, I thought she was kind of doing something like that. Like, oh, you still got my sneakers? Like, I gotta come get them. I thought it was something like that, but she never ended up coming back for them. I think we might have like spoke about them, but like never the shit I was thinking. Like, oh, you still got my 8s? Oh yeah, I gotta come get those. You know what I'm saying? But she never ended up coming back for them. And then eventually I lost contact with her. I haven't talked to her or seen her on social media or nothing in mad long. But Amber, if you see this by any chance, holla at me. I think I still got your 8s. That would be crazy if she did seen this. But yeah, I always like these. The crazy thing is, to me, these are actually by far the worst OG Jordan 8 colorway. As crazy as that sounds. Because these are fire. I just can't put them over Aquas or Playoffs. Like, I can't. I really do like these, but that just goes to show you how crazy that OG 8 lineup is. Looking at market, these are around like $280 in most sizes right now, which is enough away from retail for resellers to be able to make some profit off of them. So these might be a little tough to get. This is a shoe that I didn't expect to have much demand unless they like limited the stock or something. But it seems like this is going to be a general release. So I'm a little surprised that the price is still where it is right now. I don't know. Nothing makes sense anymore. I'm not even going to try to dissect the thought and come up with a reason. I don't even care anymore. But if you really want these, hopefully you've put in the work entering some raffles for them. If you didn't, going forward, when there's a shoe you really want, find out which retailers are doing raffles for them and get in as many as you can to increase your chances. If you didn't do that for these, you still have a shot at first come first serve tomorrow. Remember, Nike Sneakers app is not the only source for these. Make sure you try all retailers first before you just accept taking that. I'll never understand people where there's no way in hell y'all think that the only place, unless it's like something limited, I'm talking about like a GR, you know, something like this, there's no way that people think that sneakers is the only place that they're releasing. So why try only them? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know y'all know about Foot Locker, and Foot Locker is one of many Jordan retailers. So like, when people just not put in the work to do the raffles, that's a different thing. But on release day, at the time when they come out, when people do nothing but try sneakers, and then this is what's crazy. People be bitching about how, oh, I always take L's on sneakers, yet when a shoe comes out, they only try on sneakers. I will never understand that. Like, try everywhere if you want them. If you get in a situation where you don't hit at any retailers, unless the stock on these ends up being some type of limited, which I don't think it is, you should probably be able to get these for closer to retail after they've been out for a few weeks. I'm not saying they'll get all the way down to $215, but I'm sure they'll be less than $280 after a couple of weeks. Unless you're super like thirsty for them, I would not just run and pay market like shortly after they release. Because y'all should know, I try to suggest it all the time, like, don't buy the shoe right after they sell out. There are very rare occasions where that actually is a good idea, but for a general release shoe, like 99 times out of 100, you shouldn't do it. If you're getting these to resell, I think you're better off selling them as soon as you can, because I really don't see the price getting any higher. Like I said before, I'm actually kind of surprised they're still at like 280-ish right now. Being that it's a general release, I would have expected these to be more like 240, 250, but we'll see what happens. It's definitely not a shoe that I would take the risk on holding. So do you? Y'all know your clientele better than I do, but just generally speaking, that's how I would move with these. But if this was helpful in any way, I taught you anything, I really appreciate if you like the video. And if you're interested in more comparison reviews like this or any other sneaker related content, please do us both a favor and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Once you're subscribed, make sure you tap that little bell icon where the subscribe button was and select all. That way when I put a new video out, you get notified. You won't miss out on anything. Thank you all for watching. Everybody, please stay safe and healthy out there, and I'll see you next time.